Hey everyone, you're listening to the official podcast of 4playernetwork.com. Check us out at that address for everything you need to know about our community, monthly giveaways, and nightly live streams. You can even support us on Patreon at patreon.com/4player. And last but not least, you can catch the live recordings of these podcasts every single Thursday night on our Twitch channel. We hope to see you there. Enjoy. Welcome to 4Player Podcast. This is episode 724. I'm your name. You know what? I'm going to start over. I just said I'm your name.
Oh, Nick.
I'm your neighbor? You could have gone with
Keep
that.
it in, keep it in.
You
were about to say I'm your neighbor?
No, I said I'm your name is what I was about to say. I don't even know. You know, whatever. We'll keep it in.
It was like insert name here. You were reading from your script and it was supposed to be I'm in parentheses name, and you're supposed to say Nick, and you read name.
Yeah, that's the most logical explanation, actually. So, anyways, welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Nick Henderson, and I am joined tonight by Brad Simons.
Insert introduction here.
Krispy.
Hello.
And Chris Davis.
Hello.
Greetings. Hello, everyone. Video games. That's what we're here to talk about tonight. Of course, the day has finally arrived. The biggest release of 2022 is finally upon us. Chris Davis's Game of the Year, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. And we're going to talk about it for the entire first segment. So buckle up, Chris Davis.
Just going to go on.
Wait, I only have like 15 minutes of footage.
It's going to loop 4 times. Okay. Before we get into that, we have other games to talk about. I'm just teasing everybody, but a little bit of housekeeping. I want to mention our last episode that we recorded last week was another 4Player Plus bonus podcast. We did our top 3 upcoming games that we are not quite sold on yet. So check that out. It's available now on 4playernetwork.com.
It's a pretty good show.
It was a fun show. I like doing these lists. Lists are good. Lists are fun. And, more often than not, it gets me excited to play some stuff. So check it out. We talked about 15 or more games that are coming up that still have some, still have a lot to prove to us, I suppose, is a good way of thinking of it. But yeah, again, that's on 4playernetwork.com. It's on all the podcast services. Check it out. It's on YouTube. I also want to mention, since our last show, what is that, Brad? What is that? Who is that bobblehead?
You don't know who this is? Come on.
I don't know who that is.
You don't recognize this meatball?
Oh, is that Snooki?
Is it Snooki?
Oh, God.
Oh,
Brad,
my God.
why?
Brad's got a Snooki bobblehead. Okay, sorry. Distractions. I want to quickly mention, since our last show, several of our community members, I believe the Drunken Merchant, sorry, I don't have the names in front of me right now, but Drunken Merchant was the one who reached out to me at first to talk about putting together a backlog channel in our Discord at discord.gg/4player. And it's just a way for people in the community who are interested in like chipping away at their backlog to kind of make a game out of it or make it a little bit more official. They've set up some Google Docs. They're pinned in the channel. So if you want to participate, you can go list some games on your backlog and chip away at them and support each other as y'all work through those games. So if you're interested in that, check it out. It is available now. And lastly, I just wanted to say that next week, I think this is not official yet, but I think we're going to do like a co-op night instead of a podcast. And we're still kind of hashing out the specifics, what we're going to play. Might be some more Raft. It might be some more Grounded. I think Grounded is in 1.0 now, right? It came out of early access, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Anybody can confirm? Okay, cool. So maybe Grounded. I threw Shredder's Revenge into the mix there, so I'm not sure. We'll do something. So tune in next week. No podcast, more than likely. We'll be playing games together and having a good time. So join us next week for that.
Actually, I'm sorry. Grounded 1.0 comes out in September.
Oh, okay. So this is like, pre 1.0, like the last, it's at this
it's the
point,
last
it's probably
major
not going to change much. Not going to change much before 1.0, I would imagine. So one way or the other, we'll be playing a game next week on the stream at twitch.tv/4player podcast. So if you're interested in that, come hang out. But with that said, let's delve into the video games tonight. And you know what? Why don't we start with Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak? I'm sorry, Chris Davis. Chris Davis just rolled his eyes into the back of his head. I know I know it's painful, Chris
This
Davis.
is going to be a
This feels so
fun...
forced, Chris Davis. What do you have against Monster Hunter? Really?
I don't have anything against Monster
Is it
Hunter.
the crabs?
I have a thing against us talking about it so goddamn much on the show.
Hey, you
It
know
just
what?
came out last week.
We are big supporters
Yeah, we
here of
haven't-
Monster Hunter. And you know what? I was listening to the Easy Allies podcast, and people over there are pretty big Monster Hunter fans as well. So it's not like we're the only ones talking at length about Monster Hunter. Although, you know, Brad does play a lot of Monster Hunter. So, but you know what?
I mean,
This is what we're
everybody who
building
plays
to.
Monster Hunter plays a lot of Monster Hunter, except you, Nick,
Yeah.
Hey,
who's done half of the hunt.
Yeah.
30 hour. I did about 30 hours of prep to play Sunbreak.
Whoa.
Which, you know, hey, I know you're scoffing because you've played like over 100
You
hours.
didn't do 30 hours of prep. You replayed the game. To be fair,
Right. Which is
prep is like I'm gonna grind out all these decos and you
all right.
know,
Now you're splitting hairs. You're splitting hairs now. The point is, I replayed a game that just came out last year that I just played. Made my top 10 list last year. Which was my first Monster Hunter game. So I replayed it. I must really care about Monster Hunter. So here I've played.
Well, you know what?
34 hours of it.
I'm glad you're here, Nick. I'm glad you're finally here. With your first Monster Hunter expansion, you know,
Yes.
Sunbreak is the master rank expansion for Rise, which you know I think this was a lot of people liked Rise because it introduced like some really cool new mechanics, like the wire bugs, the open, you know, ended maps. I mean, the open kind of landscape maps and
Right.
it did a lot of cool shit. But I think the biggest complaint with Rise is that it was like pretty easy, like compared to like Monster Hunter traditionally. You know, they didn't do much to the monsters to like compensate for how much more movement
Mobile
options you had, especially like wire bug or like your geez, I'm blinking. Your wirefall recovery, like you know your air recovery, basically where you land sheathed and far
It's a
away from the
lifesaver.
monster. Yeah, of course. I mean that's just not what you can do in most Monster Hunter games. So people were highly anticipating this because they were like, oh, it's going to be like Rise, but it's finally going to be, you know, challenging, which is what we really wanted from Rise. And because traditionally the Master Rank expansions are very difficult, especially once you get into like the post game and the post release monsters. Like I would say like Iceborne, which was a really good expansion, was tougher than the base game, but it wasn't until you got to post game, like the Guiding Lands and stuff, and especially a lot of the monsters they released in their kind of post launch support, where it got really, really fucking painful, like really hard. And I don't know if we're gonna get here. I don't know if we're gonna get like a Latrion Fatalis hard with Sunbreak ever, just because I don't know if there's ever going back when you have this much control. But I am happy to say that this is definitely more of a challenge, at least kind of where I'm at in the game now. More of a challenge than base Rise was. Yeah, you too, right, Nick?
I got my ass kicked by a fucking crab.
Can we talk about how like there's so many like raptor type, you know, monsters. You know, you got your great baggies and your great jaggies and your great azuchis and your great raggies and you see a crab and you're like, oh, I wanted another raptor. I mean, come on.
No. I didn't necessarily imply that I want another raptor. I'm purely, you know, there are other monster types, like the fucking bear looking monsters. I think I appreciate more than the crabs. But you know, the crabs
like a Lagombi.
Yeah,
fuck Lagombi.
Dude, fuck that monster.
Yeah,
I
mean, they're not my favorite. They're definitely not my favorite.
Jerk.
But you know, I'm mostly joking because my experience. I spent like all weekend trying to beat Neon White, and then I left myself like an hour to play Sunbreak before this podcast. So I tried to I was like, I'm gonna boot it up and make some progress in Sunbreak so I can at least have something to say. And
are you using your clown voice? Because that's not what happened.
Yeah.
He got a bunch of bronze medals in Neon White instead.
Oh, fuck off, Brad. You can't. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Really though, I decided to try and do a hunt for Sunbreak over my lunch break today, and then found out that the first hunt is still in Kamura, and it's a crab. and I was a little I was
Ooh.
disappointed. I was hoping to at least see like the new content a little bit. Aside from yes, the crab is a new monster. You don't have to like correct me on that. I know.
Speaking of disappointing, Nick, I was also kind of disappointed with the way that this expansion started. The thing about this game is that it's so like when Iceborne came out, there was about the same amount of new monsters and returning monsters in Iceborne versus the base game. In fact, I think there's actually more in Iceborne than there were in the base game of Monster Hunter World. The thing is, Monster Hunter Rise had a lot more monsters than you typically get in a new Monster Hunter game. And I don't know if that's the reason, but there's actually quite a bit less new monsters in this expansion versus something like Iceborne and maybe even other expansions. I'm not sure. So I feel like they've padded the beginning of Sunbreak with a lot of old hunts. And typically, you even to the point where there's like even one or two urgents that are returning monsters from Rise, like early on, which just seems super weird, right? Because typically, especially with the urgents, it feels like padding. I think MR2, Master Rank 2, like is even mostly returning monsters from Rise. So it's a little weird. I mean, you have the new maps. There's 2 new maps, and the Citadel especially is quite large and has like kind of different biomes ish to it or whatever, right? And that's cool. But I mean, you're pretty quickly you're fighting old monsters on old maps, and you're like, well, I mean, it's cool because the returning monsters in a lot of cases are quite different, and some will even like fuck you up. Like I was carting to monsters that I definitely had no issues with in Rise, like monsters that I was like pretty familiar with, because I mean that's just part of the master rank upgrade is even old monsters get new moves, and some of them felt really different. Like those fights felt really different. I don't know, how far are you in this game, Krispy?
I don't know.
Well, what's the last
the last
new
thing I
monster you
fought
fought?
was the Aurora Somnican.
Oh, okay. So you're not super far, but Aurora Somnicanth.
Well,
Don't
hey
worry,
Nick,
Crispy, you're farther than I am.
you don't have to feel bad about not being that far because Brad still has a Kahoot that's wearing the default gear, and that's fucking embarrassing. That's
I never
embarrassing, Brad. What are you doing?
You should
I've
be
never
ashamed of
changed my
yourself.
Kahoot's outfit in
Your
Rise
little
on
owl
Switch,
looks
or
fucking stupid.
I never changed his outfit in the Switch version of Rise, in the PC version of Rise,
I'm over
or in
here
this.
like
I don't care.
I'm over here trying
The
to
owl is
piggyback
stupid.
off of I'm trying to piggyback off of
How
Crispy's
dare you.
sarcasm here, where secretly I'm like, I need to go change my
How
Cahoot's
dare
outfit
you.
I
before
don't even
Crispy
know
sees
how.
it.
I don't even know how to change
You
the
don't know how
owl.
you use the little fucking D-pad menu. You go to Kahoot, the Kahoot flaps down, lands on your arm. You open up the menu, you hit fucking Kahoot menu, change outfit, and then you fucking get it looked at. Because
It's a
Yeah,
useless.
Brad, why are
It's
you
a
right
so
useless
now,
confident?
right
animal.
now, it's fucking embarrassing.
It's a useless
Mr.
animal.
Master
The
rank
Kahoot is
hunter.
the worst new addition to
Mr.
the Rise-averse.
I put 200
It's
hours
stupid.
into this game and I still don't know how to operate the fucking Kahoot menu.
The
Shameful.
Kahoot doesn't do anything. It's a
Shameful.
useless animal.
The Kahoot takes pictures for you, man. I mean,
No,
like it holds the
I
camera when
take
you take
pictures.
pictures. No, it
I
holds the
take
camera
pictures for
when you
myself.
take pictures of yourself. It holds the camera. It's
No.
Who do
important.
you think's holding that camera, Brad?
It's like the
A
fucking
ghost?
Lakitu in Mario 64. Who gives a shit? It's
Brad,
just
I don't
me.
play any Monster Hunter myself, and that seems pretty embarrassing to me.
The owl's dumb.
How dare you?
But this game is the further you get, the more exciting the monsters become,
This thing
and
looks
the harder
cool.
they become.
Like, you know
This
what?
is
This thing looks
Gormagala.
wicked.
This is like a fan favorite. Everybody loves this monster, which is why, in like when there was a trailer and you were like, this is stupid. Who cares about Sunbreak? Nick, this was you. But they were revealed. No, you were kind of saying this like who cares? But for everybody else, they were like, "Oh, Gormagala's back. He's like a series favorite. People love Gormagala, and he's back. And I fought him. I mean, I've done most of the village in Monster Hunter 4U, which is where they introduced him, and he was like the flagship monster in that story, and he was really cool. And
To be fair, I just don't get as excited about DLC of any kind as I do for like fresh new video games. You know what I mean? So like that's the only reason I'm
DLC.
like.
Yeah, but
It's
you
not
gotta
necessarily
understand that
fair.
that Sunbreak is like a traditional expansion. Like it's not
know.
like
Back
It's
when they
not
used to come in a
DLC.
separate box, you had to go to the store and buy
Yeah,
expansion games.
yeah. Well, like in fact, this is the first one that I think doesn't have its own like physical copy, which is weird.
Give it time. Give it time.
Yeah, but it's look, it is more Monster Hunter Rise, but it is definitely more challenging. I've carded it. I failed missions, especially kind of where I'm at. I did
Loser.
beat the final boss today, so
What?
I did start post game, and
I always
the
forget.
final.
It's so weird that we can still call something the final boss, but then like that's still like that. The implication is that there's still like hours and hours and hours of new content.
Yeah, I mean,
afterwards.
for most people who play Monster Hunter, the majority of the time playing the game comes after that final boss.
I know it's just
and-
weird. Like
and-
we should have another
well, I
label
mean,
for it.
The thing is, you can actually take your time and like spend a lot of time playing this game before you get to the end of that story. But in reality, the reason I wasn't exactly rushing it or anything, like I was making new armor and weapons and stuff. But ultimately, the reason I want to beat the final boss is because it uncaps your MR rank, right? And a lot of the post game is kind of getting your MR really high because there are monsters to fight. Like there's a MR 100 monster, right? And that can take a long time to get there, right? And I'm gonna do all these follower quests and all these optional like requests, these other missions and stuff. Like I'm gonna do so much of that. I'm gonna be grinding out armor and grinding out weapons, right? But when I do that, I want to actually be with it. I want to have an uncapped level, right? But if I did all that while I was playing the main story, then well, I guess it when it uncaps, it does boost it, right? It didn't do that in Rise.
Don't look at
but
me.
I actually don't know. I actually don't know now that I think about it. But regardless, I beat the final boss, so I'm kind of ready to go into the post game, fight the new afflicted monsters. I don't know if you heard about them. One cool thing that they did in this expansion, which I think is pretty new for Monster Hunter, is that every single weapon has a rare has a rank 10 version, right? Has like a final ultimate version of the weapon. Most Monster Hunter games, like when you have a fucking Great Azuchi, sword or whatever, that's only going to be good up to a certain point. Eventually, you're going to be using final boss weapons, and that Great Azuchi weapon's going to suck. But with the post game, is that now all these afflicted monsters, they all drop parts so that you can level like each weapon tree up into like a rarity 10 or whatever, which is the final rank, which is new for Monster Hunter, but it's
unless it's rampage weapons.
no. Well, it's not rampage
There's
weapons
no
are
rampage
dead, which is
in this one, right?
there isn't, which is frustrating because rampage weapons were tied to the rampage materials.
But you can still do rampages in like Kimura, right? So like
Yeah,
sure,
they're just not-
but
there's just
I mean,
no-
but
there's
they're only
there's
master
no
rank.
master
They'd be so
rank.
easy, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
You wouldn't be
frustrating
getting
because
used
the
to it.
idea of the maybe I should have recorded more footage. The idea of the rampage weapon was really cool, like a very customizable version of a weapon. But the cool thing about having every weapon tree to have a rarity 10 or 12 weapon or whatever means that like if there was a weapon design you really liked, you're going to have a viable version of it even in the post game. Because you can, choose to use an Arzuros switch axe or whatever if you really like the way that looks. You know what I mean? I think that's a cool idea instead of everybody using the same fucking weapon. Which
I have an important question. Does the armor is there some nice lady armor in this game that doesn't look stupid?
No.
I mean, it's still the thing where like the guys
like
are gonna
two
get
suits.
like the cooler masks and stuff, but there is some cool stuff for the ladies for sure. There's cool masks.
I mean, there's cool stuff for the ladies in the base game, but like it's few and far between. Like
You
8
see
8 out
more.
of 10 armor sets for ladies look dumb as shit in
Uh,
in Monster Hunter Rise. I was hoping maybe they broke that tradition in Sunbreak, but I guess not. I mean, I'm assuming you're playing as a lady.
Of course, yeah, I'm playing as a lady. And there is definitely cool armors. Yeah, like for sure, like definitely cool armors. One of the cool thing about the master rank versions of games is that they have like the master rank versions of the old armor sets too. So like most or a majority of even like the returning monsters have like new versions of the armor sets. Like the like the Puke had like a hood, right? In the high rank or whatever, but the master rank version has like a cool like a
oh,
what do they call it? Like an
it
archer's
looks
cap or
like
whatever.
it looks like Bloodborne. You have like a fucking leather
Yeah.
collar up over your mouth, and you
Yeah.
wear a tricorn hat.
See,
Like,
that
Yeah,
sounds.
it's
Is
cool.
that for ladies? Could you kind of lady
Yeah,
wear
the
that?
ladies have that too. Ladies get some cool
Ooh.
masks. I mean, it's never going to be as much as the
the
guys because you need
fucking
to see those pretty faces, right?
yeah.
but
Only one that's
there's
cooler
definitely
is
some cool shit.
the
Definitely
only one
some
that's
cool shit. You
cooler
should
than the
see the
mad
Shigeru
one.
Magala armor for the lady. It's wicked. Maybe someone in chat could post it, but it's pretty fucking sick. Because he's like, so if Gore Magala is like the devil, like the Shigeru Magala is sort of like the angel version of him, and much harder fight, by the way. And so the armor is like kind of like this metal angel. It looks really cool. But yeah, so I will say, as far as Sunbreak versus Rise go, I do like the story in this one better. I feel like there's a lot more cutscenes, and the cutscenes are better, and the characters are in those cutscenes more from like the town of Elgato.
I like the
And
sound of
you're
that.
also going on these follower quests, right? So you're able to do hunts with actual like people from Elgato, and it's cool because they have they'll be like saying things like good job, or they'll be doing their quips and stuff like they do in battle, but then there's also like sometimes they have conversations with each other because they have these things called survey quests, which the follower quests are like they're sort of like your story versions of the follower quests, where you can actually unlock armor and weapons by doing the follower quests, the stuff that they use, and some of that stuff is really fucking cool. Like you can get their armor sets and shit. But the survey quest, it's like a version of the follower quest, but you can choose multiple followers to join you, and you can even choose what weapons they use. So it's kind of a way of like bringing in who you want, and just instead of just hunting with like paligos and stuff. If you don't want to play multiplayer, you can just kind of bring these followers in, and they're pretty cool, and they'll like mount wyverns and stuff, and it's
Chit chat.
yeah, I mean it's a cool new feature, especially for someone who might not play a lot of multiplayer, especially because there's a lot of like unlocks and stuff tied behind it as well, which is cool.
Right.
And it's cool because like like the main lady from this town is like the sister of Rondine, and you can unlock also people from Kimura to do these like follower quests as well. So you can bring like Rondine and Fioraine or whatever her name is, which are sisters, on hunts together, and it's just cool. So I don't. I mean, Crispy, what do you have to say about this so far? I mean, I know you're still relatively kind of midway or early or whatever you want to say. I guess Aurora Somnicanth isn't that cool, but
I'm trying to
I
figure
just
out the
died to
name
Cork.
of this. What's the name of the fucking giant toad monster?
Tetranodon?
Pteranodon. Fuck. Okay, I couldn't think of that.
Tetranodon?
Tetranodon. Come on, Crispy. It's not hard.
Tetranodon, you fucking bitch. Tetranodon is the only monster whose female set looks cooler than the male set. That's it.
I disagree.
That's it.
I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep
I
that
don't
in
know.
mind.
Maybe there's some new ones. I haven't seen all the new ones yet.
Tetranodon. I know nobody. I've
But
never
I
seen
really
anybody
like I really like the Tetranodon female headpiece because it's like a baseball cap with goggles and like big like ear protectors.
Earmuffs?
Like it looks
Yeah.
cool. It looks fun.
I will say the male armor aesthetic, which
Tetranodon.
I was joking that Crispy was only going to be talking about his drip, but whatever.
Dude, I mean,
the thing is, the male armor, like, it's definitely a certain vibe going. If you don't really like the
yeah.
Power Rangers-y Kamen Rider, whatever the fuck, like, vibe for your armor sets, I mean, you're probably not gonna like the male armor that much. Some of it's kind of like
I don't know.
dorky.
Oh, I don't know. The fucking I can't think of any monster names. Barioth. The new version of the Barioth armor, like the master rank armor for him, instead of it being like the like really slimmed down like sparse bits of armor, now it's like a full like fur lined coat with armor on it. It's kind of
Oh,
fucking cool.
did you see the new
It's kinda fucking
Gossarog?
neat. I haven't seen
The
that
new
one yet.
Gossarog armor is so cool. Also,
They're fucking sick.
that
Is this
fight
issue-
is
is it-
crazy now.
Is this
The-
issue with lady armor sucking like kind of unique to Monster Hunter Rise, or is this series?
No,
No,
that's
it's
all
serious.
Monster Hunters.
It
all
is-
Monster Hunters.
Rampant sexism.
Yeah.
Misogyny.
I mean,
Son of a bitch.
if you really like masks, don't make a lady. And if
Yeah.
you really like,
Although that is
Big-
kind of a catch
big
22
bulky
with
nerdy
men.
armor, then pick a dude.
With men, there's a lot of really cool looking helmets, but you're like, I fucking, I sculpted my face, I sculpted the look of my guy. I don't want to just like plop a helmet on that, even if it does look dope, and cover that up. I gotta see the money maker.
That's
Although he
like how
takes-
I spent all. It's like how I spent all this time at creating my character in Elden Ring, and then I never saw her face ever. again.
Yeah, right. It's a little bit of catch 22.
Every piece of armor I was wearing was covering her face.
So about the game, what I'm really enjoying so far, I gotta like the thing that is fucking blowing my mind right now, is switch skills. Is like the new like the ability to swap your switch skills on the fly, whatever
Right.
they call that now. I don't know what their name for it is.
Switch skills.
No, switch skills are what they're called, but the ability to flip
Oh.
them out is called
I don't know.
something.
Brad
Brad
would
can
know. I
answer,
don't know
but
what-
he's playing Monster Hunter right now, so he's not listening.
I'm looking at my phone so I can prove you wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Well, did you hear his question?
Because no
What-
one in chat would post that armor that I told them to post.
God damn it, Brad. We don't
Okay,
care about the
yeah,
armor.
he's
We're
not-
just
he's not-
talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
switch skills.
What, Brad? What's it called when you change switch skills in combat on the fly?
Switch skill swap.
Switch skill swap. Okay, makes sense. I
Yeah.
couldn't think of that. That
So
mechanic, that new mechanic, is fucking sick. Is like really cool. Basically, you can set up two completely different switch skill loadouts. Like it's not just flipping one skill for the other on the fly. It's switching your entire loadout. So for some weapons, that's just like the entire moveset of the weapon. You can just
Yeah.
switch on the fly. Plus, they give you this really dope ass dodge that you can perform while you're switching. So you can use it kind of like tactically just to like get it out of the way of something, because it's a really generous dodge, and apparently it's affected by things like evade extender, so you can just like
Yeah.
jump
You
like a
can
mile
fly
away
across
from the
the map.
monster.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing, dude. There's a skill when you get to Luna Garon. He has and this is one of the cool things about Sunbreak is that so many of these new monsters and armor sets come with like unique skills that are like very like mechanically interesting, or I don't want to get into it, but like so that
He's gonna.
that armor skill called redirection, which comes from the Lunagaran set, actually makes it so your switch skill swap is like an instant counter. Like if you swap, time it with an enemy, it'll immediately go into the dodge instead of you having to trigger the dodge. And if you have rank 2 of redirection, it recovers like a wire bug as you do it. Right?
Oh, that's sick.
It's fucking cool, and a lot of the armor sets have unique skills. Like you fought Garangolm, right? He gets a skill on his waist armor that makes it so you summon spirit birds. Like
Garangolm is the monster that's on screen right now. The one that.
Oh
that
yeah, he's a cool fucking monster, and he has cool fucking armor and weapons
He's
and
sick.
stuff.
All of his weapons are fucking sick looking. That's the lance you're using right now, right?
Yeah. Well, the
Yeah.
lance ain't that cool, but
He reminds me of like a
It looks
Colossus
cool.
from Shadow of the
Everything looks
Colossus. And you know what doesn't?
Yeah.
A fucking crab, okay?
Oh,
Okay.
shut up, Mike. That doesn't. You're dumb.
But so Garangolm has a
All I can talk about.
skill that will intermittently, like every minute or so, will summon one of those spirit birds that you normally explore the map and collect to get
Oh,
more
yeah?
powerful it happens automatically.
That's cool.
If you have that skill. But the cool thing is they introduced this new thing called rampage decorations. And since there's no rampage tickets, which means you can't do the traditional ramp up skills, which usually there was like a few for each weapon, right? Which was normally like attack up, affinity up. But some of the weapons had like more interesting skills, especially when you got to like the elder dragons and stuff. Well, now you can actually just craft those as decorations and slot them into any weapon you want. And like one of them is called a spirit bird doubler, which would occasionally, like very frequently, just double the power up that you got from picking up like a red spirit bird, which boosts your attack, right? But you can combine that with like the thing that automatically summons the spirit birds, and sometimes that will be doubled.
Like
so as you're just playing through the hunt, you're just getting more and more powerful. And like I feel like those kinds of new and interesting skills are making like these new armor sets like far more exciting than a lot of the stuff from the base game.
I was watching stuff about like the new like vampire, like is it called vampire? There's a new skill that's like
blood right, which is a new skill.
Yeah, that's what it's called. And you can build like a whole like vampire build around it where you're just like healing yourself by damaging the monster.
Yeah.
All that shit is fucking cool as fuck. The one thing I wanted to mention too about Switch skills is, remember last week, Nick, you were asking me like, "Oh, what weapon should I switch to?
Right.
You know, what's a lot of fun?" And I was kind of like, I was like, "Nick, I love Greatsword. I'm a little hesitant to recommend it, but I think if you actually like took the time to sit down with it, you'd have a lot of fun with it." Right?
Right.
Oh man, I'm blowing that recommendation out of the water. You should totally play Greatsword now because they've added new movesets. They've added new movesets to it, and like I'm going on these hunts now with this new like fucking with the new Switch skill palette or whatever it's called, and oh my god, it's so much fun. Like I feel so much like I feel like faster, and I feel like more acrobatic with the greatsword. Like it is sick. Like the way that my hunts are going now, like I'm fucking flying around and like doing all kinds of like crazy combos and stuff. Like the move set for that weapon just basically like kind of doubled. And
it's like a new weapon.
Even. Yeah, it's a new weapon. It feels like a new fucking weapon, and all the new attacks are very different from like what you had before. So like now you kind of can switch on the fly between like like a slower, heavy hitting set of moves to use like when the monster is like stunned or something like that, and then when it's not, when he's like flying around, you have this like very like vertical set of skills, right? So like you've got a lot of skills that end with like upward slashes and like swings in a vertical arc and things like that. Which
sounds almost insect glavy too, which
well, it's okay. No, it's not. It's nowhere near that. It's nowhere near that. But it does kind of fill a huge gap that like the greatsword has had, at least in the base game. Like the thing that I was always frustrated with greatsword is there are certain monsters like fighting an Anjanath and like having to be the greatsword user in that fight to like to chop the tail was fucking frustrating. Like it was kind of frustrating because there's only like one or two swings you have that could even like reach up and hit it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like most of your other stuff was like much more vertical.
Most of the time.
Yeah, I'm like hitting it in the ankles more than I'm hitting it in the tail. But now this new set, I'm kind of like getting up there and like it just makes it like makes me a lot more effective, and the hits aren't as powerful as they usually are, but I'm landing like 3 of them in the time it takes me to land 1 normally, so it kind of like washes out anyway. One of the new I don't know if it's a new one, but it's one I wasn't really using, but using there's one of the wire dash skills is like it's an upward arc and you kind of flip over and you do a chop as you come down, and if you hit with that chop, it launches you back in the air, and you have the ability to like redirect and come down and hit attack again, and you'll do another big chop as you come down. So using that skill with the new quicker, more vertical move set, like it's so fucking good, man. It just feels so good.
2 things. I'm glad you focused on the greatsword because I think you just kind of pushed me over the. That's kind of what I was leaning towards, and I think you've pretty much guaranteed that. And 2, I'm glad you focused on the new switch skill swapping mechanic, because I feel like that's one of those things they might tell you about in a tutorial, and then I'll end up pulling one of those instances where I make it through the entire game without even I
Well, the
forget that
thing about
exists,
it,
and I never
the thing
touch
about it is, it's a new, like, by default, it's a new element on your UI. Like, you can see right above his wire bugs, there's that little blue scroll.
Ah, yes.
So now whenever he pulls the trigger, it's going to pull up all your switch skills. It just shows you how to do them, because it's very like it does feel like one of those things where it's like, man, if they weren't just like shoving this in my face, I probably wouldn't use it a whole bunch. But now that I've used it on hunts and like can see what it can
It's
do, like
invaluable.
I can't go back. Like, you know, it's crazy.
But Nick, even as a longsword user, like let me give you an example. You always use like Sakura Slash, which is good. It's a really like easy way to like raise your gauge level, right? But like but the problem with Sakura Slash is when you're playing Rise, you have a way to build your meter, but you don't have a skill to like dump your meter into like a really powerful attack.
Right.
To the point where most longsword players, they just use the helm breaker, the one where you fly up in the air and come down and like anime hits like 9 times or whatever the fuck, right?
Okay,
But
cool.
the thing is, it depletes your gauge, and you only want to do it when you're red because it goes down, you know, to like white or whatever afterwards, right? So now you can use the Sakura Slash to like build your gauge up to red, switch skill swap, and then use that skill that dumps the meter into like a really, really powerful attack. All of a sudden, like that skill set just makes so much more sense.
That's cool.
It's
I like this.
If there's one negative that I have with the new switch skill system, is that when you start the game, they introduce like one new skill on top of all the other skills from the base game to like every weapon, but there's a lot more skills for each weapon, or there's 2 more skills for each weapon. But like they give you to you all at once later on in the game. You have to get like halfway through MR4, and then once you do that, like they just give you all the rest of the skills. And I kind of wish they
really?
dished those out like as you
Over time,
you
yeah.
played through the game. Like
Yeah.
in the base game, you had to do quests or make weapons to like unlock those skills, and it made sense. But now they just make you like play through a large portion of the story to even get to a lot of the really cooler skills that I really wanted to use, like Bullet Barrage for the gun lance, which is like their cool, most exciting skill where they just dump every single bit of ammo at the monster at once, and it does insane fucking burst damage. But you have to play like a lot of the game before you even get to that skill. And I'm like, why did they do it this way? I don't get it. But
all right,
it's cool.
I do think
It's cool.
we need to move on from Monster Hunter, but I am very excited to actually dig into this now. I mean, I was excited before. I mean, I've been preparing this for a while, so I'm eager to get into it and actually fight some new monsters, get to the new maps, all this stuff. This sounds awesome. So I'm sure we will return and talk about this here and there.
The only negative I have to say about it so far is that they took away layered weapons. I built like 2 or 3 S level, like the S rank, whatever, rampage weapons, just so I could get the layered weapons. They're fucking sick. And then they added on master ranks. Those don't progress any farther.
I'll say this, Crispy. I think there was some like data mining that suggested that in future updates that they will and somehow bring back layered weapons. And my hope is that it's like true layered weapons where you don't have to use like those rampage weapons, because
Shut the
man, there's so
fuck
many
up.
cool looking weapons in this game.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Okay. I take it
shit.
back. I take it back. Fuck it.
All is forgiven.
Perfect
All right.
game.
So, for Chris Davis's sake, I'm gonna let him go first with his game. He's been sitting very patiently, like while we all nerded out about Monster Hunter.
Same.
Chris Davis,
Hi.
you've been waiting to talk about Sniper Elite 5. I know this is a bit of a shift, but hit us up. What is this game? I looked this up a little bit today to familiarize myself with it, because I'm not very familiar with this series. But you've been playing a lot of it, right?
Yeah, I've put about
You're muted.
35 hours into it.
You're gonna have to unmute yourself.
I'm unmuted. What are you
Nope, you're
talking
still
about?
muted. What is going on here?
You're the one who's
he's just like
fucked
a-
up.
Well, let's talk about your game, Nick.
He's
It's
just
like a-
fucking with us.
It's like a Zoom call at work. Like, nope, you're muted. All right, Chris Davis, say something.
Hello?
Nope, I still
No!
can't. Chris Davis, learn how to use your microphone.
They can hear me.
I guess I'm
You're
gonna
the
talk
one
about
that's
something.
fucked up.
Ooh, yeah,
Wait,
talk about your game.
No, they can hear him. Why can't I hear him?
Oh yeah, we
Oh my
can't hear him.
What?
Oh,
Maybe
that's
you not hear me.
weird.
Okay.
I think they're lying. I don't think they can hear me.
I know people watching at home can hear Chris Davis, but Chris Davis, we cannot hear you, and I'm sorry,
Dude,
but
let's just
we're
let him
more
talk about
important.
his game, and then we just won't interrupt him.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go. Or let's try to ask him questions about.
Yeah, we'll try to ask him
Yeah,
questions.
seriously, everybody, seriously, quiet for a second, because
Is it a good game or a bad game?
It is a good
Davis, you
game.
need to-
Oh, it's a good game. No, we can figure this out. We can work out a
Yeah,
system.
we could figure this out.
Just gesticulate a bit more.
Did
Chris
you play
Davis.
any of the previous games, Chris Davis?
Yes.
Is this the series where you would shoot people and it would do the X-ray thing where you like watch the bullet go through their organs? And they had that one video where there's like 3 Nazis lined up and someone shot a bullet through like all 6 of their testicles.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
hate
is that
you
still
all.
in the game?
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
the really shitty part about this is that we're all laughing here, and like the shitty thing is like his Audacity is probably recording all his audio perfectly clear, which means
It
we're
is,
gonna sound like
motherfucker.
crazy people. On
This
this.
is gonna sound like a weird conversation. Like this is how people talk.
So,
Read
Chris
your
Davis-
statement, Chris Davis.
Chris Davis, are you gonna fix your mic or not? I can't.
1 second.
He's
Okay,
our
he says one-
podcast producer, guys.
He's,
Be
Award-winning
right
podcast.
back, okay? 1 second.
oh man. Oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know. Like this, we've never had this.
We'll have to let Chris Davis vamp while he figures
Testing.
it out.
No. I mean, I could talk about my game first if that.
Testing.
Nope, can't hear you. Wow, this is really going on way
How
longer
about
than I
this?
expected.
I
I thought I heard
Wait.
something.
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Yo, my
Oh,
God.
I hear you.
wait,
We can
keep
hear you.
talking.
Oh
This
my
chat
God.
here.
I'm talking right
it's all-
now. Can you
Okay,
hear
okay.
me?
Okay, we
Yes.
can hear you. We can hear
The
you.
editing of this show is gonna suck.
Yeah,
you just
and I
leave it
don't
in?
envy you.
And actually, no, it's actually really easy because I'll just find the point where he was muted, and anything he actually says between then and now, I'll just mute the whole thing on his. So it'll sound just like this. Okay, this plan will work. It'll work perfectly. Thank you, Krispy, for like just getting us through that segment and communicating everything that was happening.
We
Okay,
can do anything
Chris,
as long as we're together.
So I have put about 35 hours into Sniper Elite 5.
Holy shit!
I really like this game. I played V2, which was the semi remake of the original game, and then I played 3, and then I kind of got
Right
tired
before
of
this,
it.
or just in general?
I'm sorry.
Like you just played them before you played this, or this is your history?
Oh,
with the
like
series in
years
general?
ago. Years ago.
Okay, gotcha.
Way back in the day. This is the first Sniper Elite game in 5 years, actually. The last one came out in 2017. So yeah, I played some of 3 and I kind of got burnt down on it. I appreciate that they kind of went with a more open world design, but
I looked this up today, Chris Davis. I'll have you know, this game is not at all what I thought it was. I was like, wait a second, this is like an open. Oh my god, this is like an open world thing. You're like running around. Like I thought this was like an on rails type thing where like you can't move from the sniper perch and like you have to like
What?
like
You're thinking of
Silent
Siphon
Scope.
Filter.
Silent
I
Scope.
was thinking
or
of
something.
Silent Scope.
Silent Scope. Like
I thought this shit was like Silent Scope, which is why I was probably never interested in it. But this looks pretty.
This is like open world somewhere between Metal Gear Solid 5 and Hitman ish, where you're a sniper running around in this game, World War II France, shooting a bunch of Nazis,
Dude, hell yeah, I'll play this.
and it's actually quite fun. And when I say Hitman Light, I do mean that sincerely, because sure, you can run around as a sniper and just pick off targets from a distance all day long. But a good number of the primary optional targets you can do in the game have alternate ways to take them down. Like sort of story-esque ways to kill them. Like in this footage, I don't kill this target the way through that method could work. What I could do theoretically is lead them over. This guy is supervising a construction site, right?
Right.
And the challenge is to kill him by knocking him into the cement mixer and letting him be buried alive.
That's some Hitman shit right there.
Yeah. So you can actually, if he's in the right spot, you can trick him into investigating a machine, and then he'll go over by like a kind of a railing, and you can actually damage the railing, and he'll fall into the cement and drown.
So I'm like,
Okay,
one question.
but also wouldn't you rather just snipe him in the balls?
yeah.
Oh, you'll
It
do
shows
plenty
you-
of ball sniping in this game.
It shows you his balls if you hit them.
Yes, and they explode. Yes.
Do you shoot any balls in this footage?
I do actually.
Okay.
Oh, I can't wait.
There is
'Cause
ball
otherwise-
shooting. I don't think it does the
'cause otherwise,
X-ray,
what's
if I
the point?
recall, but
Doesn't do the X-ray.
I mean, it does the X-ray, but it's random when it activates. You can actually manage that too. That's kind of one of the interesting things about this game is that there's a lot of like control over difficulty accessibility and functionality. Like you can set the camera to go through the X-ray mode for every single shot. You can do it none,
Okay.
and several levels.
Why
in
is that?
between.
Why would anyone not set it to that?
That's 100% of the time.
Well, when you're doing it 100% of the time, like you're shooting a lot of Nazis in this game, that kind of
Yes.
doubles the length of this game if you do that.
Okay,
Hell
fine.
yeah.
So, I mean,
I'm gonna
The more value,
Damn
more
it.
bang for your buck.
Damn it. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest. I was like, there's like 3 hours left in the Steam summer sale. And I went to look. It's still $50.
Dude, Nick's gonna go
Well, it
buy
just
this
came
and
out in
play,
May,
on
man.
Game
and play
Pass. It's on
60
Game
hours
Pass,
of it
Nick.
before
It's on
you...
Game Pass?
Yeah.
it?
You're
Yeah.
telling me this
Oh,
game is on
is it?
Game Pass and Chris
Brad.
Davis paid $50 for it?
I paid
Brad.
$40.
He's gonna go
$40.
play 80 hours of this before he touches another minute of Sunbreak now.
That's not. No. I mean,
No,
no,
this-
That does sound about Nick-ish.
fuck you.
So what really got me about this game, and I'm gonna air footage of it in just a second, is they added an invasion mechanic.
Oh,
You can be playing. So this
Wait,
game
didn't we
has
didn't
single
we talk
player
about
and it
this
has
as, like-
co-op mode, but it
Didn't we talk
has
about this
a,
as like a hypothetical recently? Like where someone was like, "This game would be a lot cooler if they introduced this," or something. I thought we had this conversation like recently, or were
we may have
talking
talked about
this?
invasion mechanic for another game, or I may have mentioned that this game has it, but now I'm actually talking about it.
That dude went back and to the left.
God damn it. So yeah, the game has an invasion mechanic where when you're playing co-op or single player, at random times another player can spawn in as a Nazi sniper, and they are actively hunting for you on the map.
It's like Deathloop, but like
Yeah, it really is
sniping,
Deathloop, but like much more accessible.
One of my favorite parts of Deathloop was just playing like
Oh
just
shit!
like sniping other like invaders.
What? They have a specific like point call out for testicle shot.
Yes,
That's disgusting.
it is.
That's
It's
classless.
very disgusting. So yeah, here's some footage of the invasion mode. Invasion has quickly become my favorite part of this game. You spawn in somewhere on the map, and somewhere is the enemy player, whether you're playing as the Nazi or you're playing as the allied sniper. And you just have to hunt them down and kill them. And it's
So-
got a really interesting balance to it.
Real quick
The Nazi
question.
sniper. Go ahead.
Sorry, how much does this lean into like simulate? Like, is this like one of those games where it's like you have to, if you can look for the like the glint of light on their like sniper scope? Is that like a trick you can use? You know what I mean? Like, how real does this game like try to make this?
Oh well, there will be sniper scope glints, and you can tell in the distance based on movement whether it's an actual player or if it's just an AI walking around.
Do you have to adjust? Do you have to account for like wind direction and wind speed and stuff? when
Yeah,
you're-
that's
Okay.
part of the accessibility of the difficulty settings in this game is that you can turn that on, off, anything. You can do a
On,
lot
baby.
of customization, which is really cool.
on.
Yeah, you can have wind and bullet drop and a bunch of different things affect how you fire a shot.
Can you turn that on and off for the multiplayer? Like
Yes.
like if you turn it off, wouldn't that make invading people easier?
No, see, if you're playing single player and you are invaded, they have to operate by the same rules you operate on.
Oh, that's cool. Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Dude,
And
I
I don't
like
I don't
how-
show it.
Why
but
do
in
you
the-
look like a little sailor boy?
Because I thought that was the most insulting costume you could possibly wear in the game. I thought it'd be hilarious.
A good little boy in his Sunday best.
Yes. Yeah. The rest of them just looked like green uniformed Nazis. I was like, this
Guys,
is a little different.
this-
And it's
It looks
also
like Mama
insulting.
dressed you for portrait day.
Yeah, it's pretty
You know-
much.
It's funny. Y'all joke about me like picking this up and playing another like 30 hours of this before I touch another minute of Sunbreak. But it's like that is kind of what happened with Neon White, and like I feel it. I feel it. Chris Davis is selling me on Sniper
the
Elite.
tingle in my trigger finger and my testicles.
Don't worry. I'm all in on Sunbreak, but I think I'm gonna find time to play.
I bet if you could shoot monsters in the testicles, you'd play 1 billion hours of Monster Hunter.
Only if there was X-ray mode. You know what I mean?
I mean, X-ray mode is half of what Sniper Elite is.
Dude, this is great.
The levels are really, really big for what they are.
Yeah.
We're talking 5, maybe even 10 minutes to cross one on foot. The only thing I lament about the level design is that there'll be the map will say, yeah, this is part of an area you can go to, but there's a lot of blocked out areas. A lot of fields and things like that. The game won't let you cross because it wants to fit you into avenues and directions to play in. But going back to the invasion mechanic, it's got a really interesting balance to it. So as the single player, the allied player, you have the ability to have like the focus mode from like The Last of Us, basically, to where you can see enemies through objects that are within a certain distance. But it also gives you this kind of pulsating signal on your radar, giving you a 90-degree direction as to where the enemy is, up to as far out as they are until they get within 100 meters of you. And when it's like that, the entire circle goes red, so you know the sniper is very close to you, somewhere nearby.
You turn that off because like that's almost more than I want to know. You know what I mean? Like maybe I'm just wanting to lean too hard into like the simulation aspect of this, but like I kind of feel like I want to get shot and have no idea where it came from. You know what I mean?
I mean,
like
you can turn on
happens.
that setting, I think, or turn it off. But the way it's balanced out is that, again, you're a allied soldier in enemy territory, so you don't have any allies to work with. It's just you and your rifle, and good luck. The invading player doesn't have that kind of Last of Us focus ability, so they have no idea where the allied player is on the map. So they have to use context clues to figure out where their target is. So you have to find out, you have to look around on the map, like what objectives has he completed? Why are there no why are there no guards over here? Oh, there's a lot of dead bodies over here. Maybe he's around here, or maybe he's past that. To balance that out, so you're not just wandering around this gigantic open map for potentially an hour, they add, specifically to the invasion mode, invasion phones. So on the map will be a bunch of different phones you can find in buildings or in the side of them, in towns, bunkers, whatever. And
you
after
call your invader?
Well, no. If you're the allied sniper, you can find out the position of the enemy sniper, and vice versa. But the Nazi sniper can access the invasion phone after the first 4 minutes of the match, and then after an additional 3 minutes each time.
Interesting.
And the allied sniper, they get like a pass for the first few phone calls. And it will show on the map and on your HUD generally where they are. Like they're 460 meters out in this direct direction. But that's only for like that one particular second. They could close the distance. And after those first couple phone calls as the allied, you start trading off both knowing where each other are. So it actively encourages you to try and hunt each other down instead of camping. And that's another mechanic, is that the game doesn't want you to camp. It will get angry at you.
It's weird for a game about being a sniper.
Yeah, true. That is. The game will, if you don't move for a while from a certain spot or a certain building, a meter will pop up saying, camping detected, move or your location will be revealed. Now, if you're the allied sniper and you do that, your location is revealed and you are targeted and marked to the enemy sniper.
And you turn that off.
Remember that part in Enemy at the Gates when Ron Perlman was like jumping and he got sniped mid-jump?
Dude. Enemy at the Gates, that was a good one.
That was a fun movie.
I've actually never seen that. Shit.
It's good. It's worth watching.
Dude, that would be the perfect movie to watch and then get you hyped to play this, Nick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's absolutely true.
All right.
If you are the Nazi sniper, the camping thing does work the same too, but after 2 instances of camping, it instantly kicks you out of the game and you lose.
That is so. I as a balancing tool, I kind of get it, but at the same time, it's like it's a game about being a sniper. Like camping is like what snipers are built for. You know what you know what I mean? It's just it's a strange. It's strange to me, but
It is.
I can get over it. I can get over that.
It's cool. Honestly, I think I like the invasion mode so much more than the base game. It can be very quick jumping into matches and finding your target. Sometimes it can take 15, 20 minutes to find your target and maybe survive, maybe die, something like that.
A lot.
I mean,
That's a lot of time.
I know it's a significant difference, but it's just so much fun to jump into these maps and just kind of deduce where your target is and try to figure it out on your own. Because again, the game doesn't tell you. The allied player, the single player, has to fuck up a lot for you to immediately get an idea of which part of the map they're in. I really like this game. I would like to play some co-op because that looks pretty cool.
Well, one day when I pick this game up, I'll play some co-op with you,
dude. This is a fun.
But
game.
you know, I gotta finish Sunbreak first.
And they have a season pass now, which I don't know how I feel about that. And as is tradition with this franchise, the pre-order DLC, you have a map where you go kill Hitler. And I've yet to do that because it's $15, but I'm not opposed to.
You didn't do it yet because you felt uncomfortable doing that.
Yeah.
Well, fuck you, first off.
You're like Mein Führer.
Oh my god!
What the tradition is that you are given a possible location of Hitler in each of these games and each of these DLC levels, but each one is like an actor, a fake. So you always miss the real target every single time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is it real quick? Is anybody else? Is Chris Davis breaking up just for me, or is it anybody else?
No, he's fine for me.
Okay. It's just my internet connection probably is being lame. Isn't that the second series that Chris Davis is really into, where like this is like killing Hitler is one of the traditions, or am I thinking of Wolfenstein?
I mean,
Is that
Wolfenstein is known for Mecha Hitler.
You do
Mecha Hitler.
You kill Hitler.
Okay.
That's why I'm desperate for the third Wolfenstein game for Machine Games, so I can actually fight Mecha Hitler.
An even more severe form of Hitler.
Cool. Well, this game actually looks pretty rad. Okay. Real quick, I have one game I want to talk about before we cut to break, and I'll try and keep it short because we are pushing an hour on this first segment. I haven't played a ton of this game yet because, like I said, I took a 4-day weekend thinking I could blow through Neon White, and turned out that game took me all 4 days to get through. But I was when I finished Neon White. By the way, I 100%ed Neon White. I got all ace medals, all gifts, everything. It took me about 30 hours, and I don't know why I did it, but I did it. So that game's pretty rad. I do highly recommend Neon White, but I'm not going to talk about Neon White. I'm going to talk about Forgive Me, Father, because that's the game I
What compelled you to start this?
Well, let me tell you, Brad. Ever since the Steam Next Fest, where I ended up playing like 4 or 5 boomer shooters, as you say, Doom clones, Doom love letters, if you will. I've been like dying to play one of these games, and I played a lot of Cultic. I played a lot of Sulaco during that Steam Next Fest, and I thought those were excellent games. And I've just been kind of itching to play one of these. So the Steam Summer Sale is happening right now, and I was just perusing the store thing. I've ended up buying like 5 or 6 things, and this I just stumbled across it. It came out this year. It's a Cthulhu like themed Doom clone. With like skill trees and that really fast-paced Twitch-based action with a really cool, unique, like cel-shaded like art style, and like evolving weapons and secrets and shit. And
This isn't even like cell shade. This is almost like sprites. Like
Yeah,
a
it's like
3D
all the
world with like 2D sprites. This looks
yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah. It's got a really cool visual style to it. And the things that kind of threw me off about it at first, because I started playing it, I was really kind of expecting I wasn't sure what to expect tonally, because I was sold on the idea of it being like Cthulhu, but it's Doom. And I was like, that sounds really neat. But like, I knew there was going to be kind of a story layer on top of it, and I was maybe expecting. I don't know why I was thinking like maybe this is gonna be more like Gloomwood, where it's like kind of eerie and slow paced, but like with the mechanics of something like Doom. But no, this is like super fast paced, super Twitch based, super just like when you go into combat, it's playing that like Doom heavy metal music. It's like it's it's going for it. It's just like all the enemies are like something out of H.P. Lovecraft. There's lots of tentacles and weird like
Fish
zombie
people.
monsters and wait, what?
Fish people.
Fish people, weird shit like that. But yeah, but everything on top of that is more what you would come to expect out of a Doom clone, kind of like this. But and the thing that kind of threw me off at first is like there's no like reload mechanic. You just fire your gun until you run out and you automatically reload, which I guess is reminiscent of classic Doom. But being a more modern game, I kind of expect you to have a little more control over that kind of thing. But like the thing that is really cool is that even though you're not actively having to like manage your ammo aside from picking up new ammo, like you're earning experience, and then when you get an experience point, you can open up like this big skill tree. But the skills are all they're all tied to specific. You can evolve specific weapons, and like a lot of times, the next level of the weapon will like evolve into two possibilities. So you can evolve it one way, and it'll start shooting like bouncing, exploding ammunition. Or you bounce the other way, and it'll be more of a precision based gun, like that kind of stuff. So you're kind of dictating how your arsenal kind of evolves over the course of the game, which has been a lot of fun.
Is that what's making the weapons look all like
Yeah, it's like
horror-y and
yeah. So
like
you
organic
start with a
shit?
basic shotgun, and then like you can evolve it one way, and all of a sudden it has like tentacles and shit growing on the shotgun. But like now it shoots,
Man,
yeah, it shoots like
that's pretty sick.
exploding pellets. It's dude,
It's pretty
it's
cool.
good. It's cool.
Pretty
The
cool.
other cool thing I really like about this game is that because it's kind of like a horror, it's got this like horror aesthetic or layer to it. There's a lot of dark environments. So one of the skills that you unlock early on is a flashlight, but you can't use the flashlight while you're holding a weapon. So you have to like when you pull the flashlight out with like the left trigger, you're sacrificing your ability to fire your gun.
So Doom
Um,
3.
yeah. I guess I haven't played Doom 3 in quite some time. But yeah, that sounds right. But there's other things tied to it too. Like you can unlock different special abilities that you can evolve as well by putting points into them. Like you get a cigar that when you smoke the cigar, all of a sudden you go into like temporary god mode, and you have this like special like glowing scepter, and you can like flash people with it and do a bunch of extra damage.
Yeah.
You can pull out. There's one with you pull out like a Polaroid camera with a flash on it, and you can take a picture, and it'll like stun all the enemies in front of the camera so they can't attack for like a certain amount of time. It's got a lot of really cool ideas, and I'm really digging it. So I'm still pretty early. I'm only like 4 or 5 like missions into it, but like man, it's one of those games like once you pick it up and start playing, it's kind of hard to put down. Um, Also, it's got like this like really like cheesy schlocky like narrate like the character you can pick between a priest and a lady character. I don't know what her. I think she's a
She looks like a
she's a
journalist.
I think she's a journalist, yeah. But like the priest plays more defensively, or the journalist plays more offensively, and I'm playing as the journalist. I'm not really sure what the difference is between them exactly. But she's like this like super over the top like cheeky personality to it, which is just so many things I really wasn't expecting from this game. And at
You
first
have
they
that like Does she have that like classic like mid-Atlantic 1920s accent?
vaguely, but like it's also just like the things that she says, just it's so I don't know over the top. I was expecting this to maybe be a little bit more like I hate to say serious, but you know what I mean, like
Something
more like
like really
horror.
horrible happens. She's like, we about a 23 skidoo.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that would feel right at home. I think in this game, it's leaning into kind of the cheesiness of it, which I think is working in its benefit. Yeah, it's game is pretty cool. It's got secrets, Brad. It's got secrets.
I've been looking at some of those secrets, and they're
This
not
is
exactly
this is from like the
Doom
third level.
quality, Nick.
This
Oh,
is from like the
damn.
third level, and as I've been going, the first level only has like one secret, and it's very easy to find. The second one had like two, and where I'm at now, there's like 7 or 8 secrets you can find throughout the level, and some of them are. I found a uh, a weapon upgrade that seemed to be temporary. Like you could only use it as long as you kept that weapon equipped. So like I found a secret and it added this like thing to the top of it that changed the way the bullets fired, and the bullets were suddenly like ricocheting in different directions and stuff. But as soon as I switched from that to my pistol, I had lost it forever. So like that was kind of a cool little twist on it. So
these secrets don't seem. Look, I don't want to beat around the bush.
I'm not.
The
trying to say
original
this is
Doom has some of like the best level design to date.
which is
still.
why I'm not saying this has like the best level design in the world, Brad. But it definitely, I mean, it wears its influences on its sleeve, and it's it's trying, and it's doing some cool stuff, and even though they may not be like Doom quality secrets, they're secrets, and it's fun, and it's fast paced, and it's a nice change of pace after playing 30 hours of Neon White, which again I love that game. But this is just like tonally just so different, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it.
I know. I mean, I believe you. I believe you. But this kind of goes back to my like. Remember the final thought that I had a few weeks ago, where I'm like, why play this love letter to a love letter of Suikoden when I could just play Suikoden because I hadn't played one of those Suikoden games. Well, you could play Doom and Quake and Duke, and then really, I think you'll respect these love letters so much more.
I mean, you might be right, but I've played a lot of those games. I mean, I'm just saying. I've just been in the mood for one of these. This is a new game. It came out this year, so that's also a plus in its benefit. And I'm really, 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 really. I still can't stop thinking about Cultic, which was part of Steam Next Fest. And this is kind of tiding me over, I guess. It's filling that void until I get to play that again, I guess.
Did you happen to play the demo for Fallen Aces?
I did not, no.
You should absolutely look up Fallen Aces.
Is that like a boomer shooter type thing? Is that
it's from New Blood?
Okay.
Think of it as like a 1940s style crime noir FPS.
Holy shit, that sounds awesome. Okay, I'll look that up. But that's all I have to say about this. This game is called Forgive Me, Father. I highly recommend it. So far, like I said, I only played like an hour and a half, 2 hours of it because again, I finished Neon White like last night.
I mean, that's more than you played a Monster Hunter Sunbreak.
Right. You know what, Brad? Because I knew you and Crispy had Monster Hunter covered.
If you're gonna play this game, Nick, you at least have to go play Doom and read some Lovecraft. Okay, that's your homework.
Yes.
All right, fine, fair enough. All right, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we got a little bit of news to talk about, and then we'll answer some questions, and we'll wrap up with the 4-player minute. So if you're watching us live, guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show.
It's always at the very, very end anyway, so most people don't even realize that I left because it's like Nick's wrapping up his 4-player minute, so who gives a shit?
Well, people who are listening don't, but people who are watching are something like, Brad just ghosted us, just gone.
Well, everyone knows. And watching too.
I say goodnight to every single person in chat individually. I say goodnight to everybody individually. It'd be like, good night, Puff and Cloud. Good night, Zeros, guys. Good night, Technology. Good night, endmylife.com. Good night, Cars. It takes me a while, but I get it.
Because I really like Chicory doesn't mean I recommend it to everyone. I wouldn't have Nick play Slay the Spire either,
I like how Brad suddenly just like we're having a conversation and then like without any indication he just like shifts gears and now he's talking to someone in chat about Chicory.
We haven't started the podcast, right?
No, this is the podcast.
We're live.
We're back. We're live.
Oh, this is the podcast. Oh, okay.
This is the podcast. Welcome back. You know what really sucks? You know what really I had this happen for the first time I booted up Forgive Me Father on my Steam Deck, thinking like, oh, this is like the perfect kind of game to play on my Steam Deck. And you know what? It's a little too Twitch based. Like it needs mouse and keyboard. Like I could not play Forgive Me Father. I mean, it runs perfectly fine on Steam Deck, but using the analog sticks to control just did not have the precision that I needed. So that's kind of a bummer. Just wanted to get that out there, since I forgot to mention it last time. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We got some news to talk about, some small stuff, but stuff I think worth mentioning on a video game podcast, right? And then we'll answer some questions, and then we'll wrap up with the 4-player minute. Easy peasy. So first, very unceremoniously today, Sony just announced the release date for God of War Ragnarok. What's up with that?
I mean,
what the fuck was up with that?
What, you wanted to be wined and dined a little first?
Well, I mean, it seemed like it's like there was no pomp and circumstance. It was like suddenly
they already
Nibelian
told us
retweeted
it was coming this year.
Yeah, and it
They'd
was supposed
told-
to be announced last week.
No.
I know. No. I get it. But like, you would in these situations, you would normally expect Sony to be like, we're announcing a state of play. We're going to show you the game, and then we're going to give you a release date. It's going to be like a 10-minute thing. Boom, people get excited. But no, I found out about this through Nibelian, who retweeted it, and I was like, oh, okay. God of War Ragnarok is coming out on November 9th. Cool. Which great news. Great news for 2022. But still kind of sucks. On a semi-related note, Forespoken got delayed almost what feels like within like minutes or within like an hour of the announcement of God of War's release date being announced. I don't know if there's a connection there, but there probably is because they're both Sony properties.
I mean, no, Forspoken
Delayed
is
to what?
Enix. It's just a PS5 exclusive right now.
Right.
Delayed to what?
Delayed until January 23rd.
Delayed until 3 days before Dead Space remake comes out.
Correct.
What?
But I mean, I don't think
That
there's
has
as
to
much to worry about there in terms of the competition.
I don't think that Dead Space remake's gonna hit that date anyways.
That's also a possibility. But it does seem weird. Like you can't really move a game out of one date without getting dangerously close to another big game. So
yeah,
who the hell knows?
This was a decision that was it was probably Sony saying, look, you're not going to get as many sales if we're going to have God of War coming out just about a month after Forspoken comes out.
It's also
delay. Get out of the way.
It's also probably one of those situations where they're like,
Wait, how
we
close
need
were they?
something like 2 or 3 days. Like I think Dead Space comes out on the 27th, and I think
No. How close were God of War and Forspoken?
There was a month difference.
Dude, who gives a shit? It's the fall. I mean, they're not even like similar type games. Who cares?
They're
I
PS5
don't-
exclusives.
I think
that's the thing.
Forspoken got delayed because
it needed some
it
polish.
didn't look like a game that was about to ship, or it looked like a game that would get delayed because that's what happens to games.
As part of this announcement, they were like, Forspoken is basically it has already been in like the final polishing states of development. Like it's just playtesting and fixing bugs and shit at this point. So it's it sounds like it was a decision that was made because of the current release schedule. Maybe Sony just felt they needed something for January because they don't currently have anything for January. I don't know. But the point is, Forspoken is now a 2023 game. Kind of a bummer. And God of War is coming out on November 9th, which is exciting. And then the other thing, which I didn't write it on the doc, but I wanted to mention this because I thought it was very strange. Lollipop Chainsaw is getting a remake. What is up with that? That's like one of the strangest, most random announcements I've ever heard. The development team, the creatives behind Lollipop Chainsaw, apparently bought the property from wasn't
it Grasshopper?
Well, Grasshopper was a developer. Who was the publisher?
yeah.
It was Kurakawa Games. Maybe I'm making that up. I have no idea. Katakawa? Yeah. They bought the property from the original publisher and are working on a remake of the game.
Can I just say that was the wrong one? Lollipop
Uh,
Chainsaw sucks. Why couldn't they like remake or remaster? Let's be honest,
Shadows
this
of
is
the
not going to
Damned.
be a remake, like Shadows of the Damned or something.
Maybe they couldn't afford it.
Or maybe they just don't have that code anymore.
I mean, it sounds like the way this is being talked about, like they're redoing the art style and thing. I mean, but like that's not the problem the game had.
Well, it's
I
not.
remember that
They're cleaning up the art style. I think. I don't think they're actually redoing.
they said
it
they're going for a
for more realistic graphics.
Yeah, so
But
who knows what
that could
means.
just mean like they're turning
They're
up
just killing
one
some of
single
that soul shit.
shade of whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's still a really weird, random announcement that came out of left field.
Well, the more kind of weird thing I think is that Suda51 is not involved in it. And also,
how involved
I didn't
was he in the
realize
first
this,
game?
but evidently James Gunn helped write that game.
Somehow that's not
Yeah.
surprising.
That's fun.
I mean, I had no idea that was a thing, but
I mean,
apparently
they were
he's
going
on-
for like a whole grindhouse feel for it anyway, and he
Yeah.
used to work for Trauma Films and shit like that, so makes sense.
Yeah. So I don't know. I remember being excited for that game, then playing it and being bored with it within like an hour or two of playing it. So I don't know how this is gonna go over when it comes out, but it's weird. So I thought I'd bring it up. Yeah, that's really all the news this week. So are y'all ready to answer some questions?
Never.
All right, good. That's the spirit. Again, I do want to apologize. I was actually very late posting the thread in Discord today, so we don't have a ton, which is
So
actually
we got some
probably-
really shitty questions.
we got some really terrible questions. No, I'm just kidding. But we post this thread every week. Ideally, we'd post it days in advance prior to the recording of the show to give you all time to think of questions and put them in there. Like I said, I did it very late. I did it today, but we got some questions in there, so we're gonna comb through them here in just a second. If you're interested in doing this on a future show, just go to discord.gg/4player and you can find there's a channel called Submit a Question under the podcast header, and we'll start a thread every week for the show. You can leave it in there, and we'll answer it on the show. So with that in mind, our first question comes from Zero Skies, and he says, in the spirit of lateness, what is the worst thing that you've ever procrastinated on, and did you get away with speed work on it?
The worst
Did
thing?
Yeah, I guess what's the most stressful thing you've ever procrastinated on, and did you pull it off? I mean,
I think like my go-to answer to this would be a book report that I did in high school, but it was a book report I did in high school, so the stakes weren't actually that high. I've
Yeah.
procrastinated on worse. Like I've procrastinated on paying my electric bill once. I went
Damn.
like 7 months without paying for electricity one time.
Holy shit!
And then when I had to pay it, it really sucked.
I thought you were gonna say like you waited a couple days past due.
No, I what happened was I was living with a couple people and one of them moved out of state and we were supposed to like transfer the payment information to one of us to one of the people who was staying before he left. That didn't get done, and then I just kind of didn't think about it. And then, like at 1.4 months later, I was like, "I wonder what's going on with electricity." And then I was like, "Well, the electricity at the apartment's still on." And
So everything should be fine.
I had a lot of anxiety at that time, so like thinking about it was very like, "Oh fuck, no!" Like, so I just stopped thinking about it and let it go. And then like 7-8 months later, I had to fix it. And, that's life, I guess. But it's not a very interesting story.
Kind of in
I
the
can
same
relate,
vein,
though.
I procrastinated paying a toll, like a toll road bill. Drove
Those
to San
fuckers
Antonio.
are ruthless.
Yeah.
Dude, drove to San Antonio for a concert once. Took 130, pretty much straight shot down there, and then I got the bill in the mail, and I don't know why I didn't pay it immediately, but I just forgot. I put it in a pile somewhere. Eventually, got thrown away. I forgot about it, and it left my mind. And then I got another one. I think I moved at some point, and then my mail got forwarded, and it showed up again. And at this time, and then I opened it up, and it was like $180, which at the time, $180 was terrifying.
Devastating. Yeah.
Now that's like a joke amount of money to you, right,
Yeah.
Nick?
Yeah.
Yes, Brad. That's exactly what I'm saying. But there is a difference. But there's a difference between $180 being like
Yeah.
almost an entire week's worth of pay versus $180
Being an
far
hour's
less.
worth of pay.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yes.
nice to be able to handle emergency expenses when they come up.
Yes, exactly. So that sucked. So the other part of the question is
Can we
no, I
stop
did not
talking
get away
about
with it.
bills, please? Because
I mean,
Do you wanna
if you have
do
a
you
more
wanna hear
exciting
my
procrastination story, Brad,
do
go
you want to
for
hear
it.
my book report story?
Yeah,
no,
I've
hold
got a
on.
similar
Let me give an answer real quick, and then you could say yours because mine's short. As far as like procrastinating, I was Googling, do babies drink water like days before my first baby was born?
Do babies drink water?
That's a good question. I'm not going to answer that for you.
What?
What?
Come
What?
on. What, do they get all the water from formula, from breast milk?
Brad's not going to tell us the
Or do
answer.
you
He's going
just
to
have to do you have to plop the baby down with like a glass of ice water? And say, here, slug this.
Point was, I didn't know.
Brad's,
Point was, I didn't
Brad's
even
like,
think about it.
Brad's like, I'm not going to let you benefit off of my hard work.
Yeah,
You're going to
have to read a
yourself.
book.
So, how did it turn out? Did your babies get dehydrated or?
They're okay.
Okay.
But
hear they're
you do
doing
get
fine.
into the thing where it's like, oh, well, the baby eats this much, and then your whole life is just like chaos, and then all of a sudden it's like 3 months later, and you find out, oh, we're supposed to be giving them way more food.
His caloric intake is not. He's not going to perform because he doesn't have calories. Oh my god!
It happened.
Oh, when we switched, when we switched our brand of dog food as Evie was moving out of the like puppy realm to the adult dog realm, we switched her food, and I don't know what happened, but I guess there was a miscommunication. We thought it was the same, it was a different kind of food, but it was still the same amount of food that we had to give her, and we were giving her that for like 3 or 4 weeks before we realized we were only giving her about half of what we were supposed to be giving her. Yeah, and we're like, oh my god, fuck.
Oh,
That happens with people too.
bad parents, just bad parents all around.
Oh man, we felt so bad. We're like, oh yeah, that was rough. Sorry, Evie, if you're listening to this.
The only example
It's
I
like trying to.
Go ahead.
At least a dog can self-regulate its temperature or whatever, you know. A
Yeah,
baby, you
yeah.
have no idea. Oh, is this baby like burning up or freezing cold? I have no idea. All I know is I'm very fat and it feels nice in here to me. Hopefully the baby's okay.
Jesus.
Chris Davis, do you have an answer before we move on to the next question?
The best example I can think of was in high school, senior year, I believe. We had I don't remember what the science class specifically was, but there you had to do a year-long project. And I procrastinated and did it all in the 36 hours it was before
Nice.
the thing was due. Yeah.
I'm sure there's an
36
example like
hours
that.
is like plenty of time, dude. Like
Yeah.
I'm
to
not
do a
even
project
bringing
that
up
you were
schoolwork because that's just like, of course.
But when it's 30% of your grade and you're supposed to be working on it since August.
They tricked you into doing normal schoolwork. They told you have all year to do this to make you feel like it was
Yeah, I've
bigger
had
than it
huge
actually
research
was.
papers due that I didn't even start until after it was due.
And you know what? It always works
terrible.
out, doesn't it?
Well,
all right. Our next question this tonight comes from William
Not always.
Outbreak. William Outbreak says, "Is there a moment, song, movie, or game that brings back any old school 4PP memories? For example, I can't listen to Schism by Tool without thinking of Brad's na 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 the pieces fit rendition."
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm sure there's plenty. I can't
I don't
watch
know.
the human.
The Family Matters intro.
Oh, you know what one I was thinking of the other day was when we were playing games for the 500th episode,
Yeah.
and we were
400.
playing 400th. Was it 4 or 5? Whatever.
4.
One of those. The one where we had like everybody on, right?
Yeah.
And we played all
Yeah.
day. That was 400. Okay. And we were playing. I was playing Modern Warfare Call of Duty Modern Warfare,
I
and I was
remember
playing
those.
all gillied up.
Uh-huh.
I remember, and you guys were in the room talking, and we had it set up where it's like, oh, we can talk to whoever's playing outside, and you guys were talking about like weapons in Call of Duty games, and you're like, oh, hey Nick, or you're like, let's throw it out to Crispy. Hey Crispy, what's your favorite weapon? And I'm like, grenades. I'm just like throwing grenades and all gillied up when you should be like hiding and sneaking. I was playing
Yeah.
Call of Duty the other day, like hiding with a sniper rifle, and it made me think of that, and I love that day. The 400th episode was a lot of fun. I miss it.
Dude, yeah, the also kind of in the same vein, like anytime I see or think about Super Mario 64 now, I despite already having like really
Oh.
nostalgic memories of playing that game when it came out, I now immediately think of our Project M race.
Remember going out and filming those videos we did?
Yeah.
You on the
Yeah, no.
playground?
That was a lot. We did a
And
lot
you
for
know what?
that.
Chris Davis worked some pretty serious magic. I think those videos turned out pretty nice.
Those were
It's
great.
funny. Somebody commented on this question. It says, actually, Tack commented on it. He said, "I personally can no longer take a piss without feeling self-conscious about unfastening my belt. Thanks, guys."
We're
Man.
thinking about how you wipe your butt after you poop.
Who does that?
Who wipes?
You know, I was also gonna say I can't even watch the Human Centipede anymore without thinking.
Yeah, I can't even enjoy my favorite rainy day movie.
Oh God.
Oh my god. No. Because I always think about. Because for those who don't know, we watched the Human Centipede once together on the stream, but like with the cameras pointed at us.
Y'all watched it. I never saw that
Oh
movie.
yeah, I wasn't there for that.
Yeah. I think we were at Brad, and this was back when Brad was living with David, so it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But we turned on we did the camera with the night vision, and we watched us watching the Human Centipede. And I remember, I'll never forget it because there's this like close up shot of like a Playboy bunny tattoo on someone on someone, and I forgot I made some noise because I was like ooh, because it was like a super close up shot of it on someone's like naked skin, and then the camera pulled back and it was like the dude at like the front of the centipede, and Brad and David would not leave it alone for ages. So anytime someone brings up that movie, I always think of that moment. That's good.
Do you think the first guy captured is the front of the centipede or the back? Do they keep adding on to the front?
I think they would have to keep adding on to the front.
No.
Because it's not really because I mean if the first guy's the front, he's got kind of a good deal going, right?
No. The first guy caught is the middle. He's the one that gets fucked.
They attach them to both sides and just keep going. Is that?
Like an
I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like
you
I'd rather
alternate
have
one
someone
forward, one
eating
back.
my shit than just be the end of the centipede. Because if someone's eating my shit, then it's like half.
So you want your
now you know how I feel.
asshole? You want your asshole sewed onto somebody's mouth when it could just not be?
Well, if I'm eating shit all the time, then
Doesn't matter.
No, here's the thing: is that
the centipede would die. You're not getting nutrition from just eating shit. I don't.
no, that's
understand.
the thing: is that whoever's in the back is moving forward. They're progressively going to die. So you had to constantly add on to the front.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
You know, for someone who hasn't seen this movie, Chris Davis, you seem to know a lot about the subject.
I'm just thinking about
Put
the
a lot
fucking
of thought
logic
into
of it,
this.
and how dare you make me think about the fucking logic of this? How dare you?
Oh my god. Okay. All right. Next question. Whew. Let's see. Haste wants to know, what do you guys usually eat or drink at the Alamo Draft House? I went for the first time on Sunday to watch Elvis and was sad that there weren't any hot dogs, but I got a slammin' chocolate milkshake. Maybe it's just the Draft House here in California that don't have hot dogs. Question mark. No, I don't think they have hot dogs.
I don't think they do.
They did them for a while. They took them off the menu.
I mean, they changed their menu a lot. I don't, and a lot of times they'll do like special. I've seen hot dogs show up on like themed menus for like a movie.
Yeah.
I don't know what movie it would be. Like, I would be willing to bet if they did a themed menu for everything everywhere all at once, there was a hot dog on that menu somewhere.
I think there was actually,
but you know, they changed their menu quite a bit. I personally think hot dogs are disgusting, so I would never order one.
What?
Fucking weirdo.
I was really saying this
hot
just to get under
dogs?
Chris Davis's skin.
Yeah.
Bothering me too.
I normally go with like I don't complicate it. I go with like a Royale with cheese. Maybe get some fries. You know what I really like? If I'm not doing like a full meal, if I'm like getting a snack or something, get some of those loaded fries. That shit.
Oh yeah,
Loaded
Robin
fries good?
loves loaded fries. Yeah,
I like that they added the monster burger to the main menu.
If
Because
they
that's
change
just
their
Royale
menu-
cheese, but they add on queso and they put waffle fries on it too.
So
It's really
I've
good.
actually
Hadn't had
become. So back in the day, you used to be able to order any one of their salads on their menu as a wrap, like a salad wrap, and I used to do that with like fries and a drink. That was delicious. They stopped doing
big
that.
rap guy.
But nowadays, I gravitate towards their pizzas, which are excellent. And they just changed their menu recently because I used to get the angry pepperoni pizza, which was pepperoni and jalapeno, basically with basil and mozzarella cheese, I think. But which was delicious. But they took it off the menu. But now you can get any pizza and make it angry. So now you
Yes.
just get a pepperoni pizza and make it angry, and it's the same thing. But now you can do it to any of them.
Why
That's
not just
great.
go get some good food
Dude.
and then go watch your movie?
How about you go fuck yourself? I
that's
love
you.
Draft House food.
Dude, their food's pretty good.
Their
Yeah.
food is excellent.
It's pretty good. Maybe a little
Um,
pricey. Dude, those
It's
milkshakes,
fine. It is
those
pricey.
milkshakes are fucking sick.
Yeah, their milkshakes are fantastic. Also, I go through like 2 or 3 electric jellyfish IPAs.
Can't drink
go
while
there.
I watch a movie. I can't make it through the end without having to go pee pee. I hate it.
Oh, they added the got ham fried chicken sandwich. They were doing from the Batman. That's now on the main menu
Yeah.
now. It's just a chicken and blue
Oh.
sandwich.
It was
pretty good.
I had-
Go to the Walgreens and get some Junior Mints and then go watch your fucking movie.
Yeah. I guess.
Brad, who hurt you?
What?
Who
what?
hurt you?
Can somebody go over to Brad's house and just give him a hug?
Dude, you know, at that
No.
point,
Are you
I would much
seriously-
prefer. At that point, I would much if I was gonna like sneak food in, if I was gonna like buy candy and just sneak it in, I would go to an AMC and sit in those like big couch recliners they have. Like that would be better.
It's so funny to me that y'all think, bringing candy into a movie is like some miserable life experience.
There's nothing wrong with
I
that,
know,
but you're
I love
shitting
it.
on the menu.
It costs. I mean, it's very expensive, and the food's okay. It's just
Hey, you're talking to me. To me, the Draft House is like my second home. I go there like
The,
2 or 3
the
times a month.
stuff, the stuff that is very like
I do it specifically for the
stuff
food
that's-
too.
the stuff that's very basic, like not very adult food, like the chicken fingers and the burgers and stuff, is okay. The stuff that's really good is the more sophisticated offerings.
Yeah.
Also,
So,
they got good
so
fried
maybe
pickles.
you're just not ordering the right stuff, Brad.
Like, I went to see Top Gun 2 again last night, and I was mildly upset that I had to go to Flick's Brew House to
He
do
was
it.
he was Miles Tellerly.
look.
there was
I've had a
joke there, and I
burger
fucked it up.
at the Draft House, and I've had a burger at Flick's Brew House. It ain't that fucking different, Chris Davis.
No.
All right, before I lose my shit, I'm gonna move on to the next question from Fuzzy Turd.
I've seen Nick
Fuzzy-
get like seriously angry when he thought he was gonna have to go to a regular theater to see
No,
like,
He
Batman or
has gotten
something.
angry.
I was very angry. I was about to literally not go see Batman.
You just sit there and watch the movie.
I'm a bit of a Draft House
Popcorn,
snob
what
at
is
this
this
point.
shit?
They have popcorn at the Draft House. That's great.
No,
All right,
That is the same as any other popcorn. Like-
You're killing me. Fuzzy Turd asks, he says, "What's up, you sexy fountains of machismo and elegance? I listened to an old podcast episode recently and was inspired. Now, set aside all cannibalism biases for this one, please, or the question
Uh-oh.
slightly
Okay.
breaks." All right.
Okay,
You-
so assume you're okay with cannibalism.
Yes, that's a good
Okay.
start. And also, I haven't necessarily screened this question all the way through, so I apologize ahead of time. Here we go. You make the odd decision to follow a shady-looking man down an alleyway under the assumption that it was a Resident Evil 4 merchant situation. The decision backfires because you're a doorknob. You find yourself in a new situation where you must choose between spending 4 days in a hot room with no air circulation that progressively gets stinkier. Okay, this is a really convoluted question.
Yeah.
Or okay, this took a dark turn. We're just gonna say you choose, or you must consume a mason jar full of pickled. I'm gonna go with a different body part here. Pickled eyeballs.
Just say it. I mean, who are
wieners?
you protecting here, Nick?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, but sometimes I read these questions. You're like, oh, why'd you read that question? Okay,
I'm
you
never saying that.
You must consume a mason jar full of pickled labias. Okay, his
Oh,
words, not mine. It says, then you're free to go, albeit slightly traumatized.
But it does. I mean,
What
those
was
are
option
two
A
very
again?
different things, right? Because eyeballs are like jelly and filled with vitreous humors and stuff, and the other
Sure.
thing is just skin, basically.
Everything's better pickled.
I guess that's true.
Not-
Wait, no, that's not true.
Spend 4
That's not
days.
true.
Hang on, or spend 4 days in a hot, like a room with no air circulation, and the smell gets worse.
Okay, so the question is, do you think you can force yourself to consume the mason jar full of gross stuff faster than the 4 days of sitting in the hot room with no air circulation?
Can I smash the jar and use it to kill myself to get out of the situation?
Here's the thing: is that human beings can handle environments up to like I think 120 degrees, and after a while, your sense of smell is just going to shut off. So.
I really want to I want to back up part of this question because I don't
if my
understand
house
the
gets
purpose.
any warmer than 75 degrees, I want to die. So I don't think I'm gonna handle the room very well.
Yeah, there's been times where it's like 78 degrees in my house, and I want to actively go outside to the 90-degree
And
temperature
you're
because
like,
it feels more
fuck
comfortable.
this. You're like, why do I even have a fucking house if it's just gonna be hot in here too?
Exactly. And also, I want to back up to the preface of this question because I don't understand the part where it says the decision backfires because you're a doorknob. What does that mean? Am I misunderstanding the meaning of this?
Oh,
maybe,
or is everybody else?
Like,
cool. I'm just making sure I'm
maybe
not
he's
crazy.
British and he's like calling us an idiot.
Maybe you can elaborate on that, fuzzy turd.
Yeah, this is terrible.
I'm not so good at the like forcing
Would you
yourself to eat something that's disgusting.
Hey, you ever seen that TikTok? That's
very descriptive.
That's what do you call the fatty part around the vagina? And the answer is like, my name is Robin.
So, Nick, are you going to cut that part out of the show or not?
No, that's great.
Is that the title of the show tonight? My name is Robin.
No. The title of the show tonight is definitely "Do Babies Drink Water?" That is, without a doubt, tonight's episode. Have we actually answered this question to their satisfaction? Okay. Last question tonight comes from the Drunken Merchant. He says, "I'm about to buy a car. What essentials do you all keep in yours for fun/emergencies? Tire repair kits, multi-tools, etc."
Wait, say that again. Sorry.
What essentials do you all keep in your car for fun/emergencies?
What?
Essentials for fun.
Are we talking about fun emergencies or fun or emergencies? Because it seems like two different things.
I guess I have some jumper cables and a giant dildo.
Yeah, just in case. I keep napkins in the glove box.
There we go.
A couple bottles of water. Maybe
you
a
keep
change
bottles
of clothes.
Are they BPA free bottles of water?
I mean, the kind that can stand the heat. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Let's say, and you drink. I mean, it's still gonna be hot water.
If you were in a situation where you needed emergency water, are you gonna get like really uppity about BPAs?
You don't like hot water? Yet? What if you had to go to the draft house, but the only thing you could drink was hot water, or a regular theater, but you could have a cold beer?
That's
the
question.
Regular theaters don't serve cold beer.
I mean, some do.
Yeah.
To answer the question, you can actually get, and what I have in my car is a combination air compressor and battery charger.
Interesting.
That's really
This is
useful.
such a boring question if you only answer the emergency part of the question.
I mean, what else? Like, some
What-
CDs. I
what
keep
fun
my
stuff
my
is in your
iPod
car?
in
You know,
my car.
I like to keep gasoline in my car.
Yeah.
You keep your iPod in your car?
Oh, you know
I do.
what? You remember those maps?
Isn't it going to get too hot?
Do you remember
It's
those
fine.
maps that Nick made for that time we played D&D?
Yeah.
Those have been in my car ever since.
Oh, so you're ready to go? If we just
Still in there. I got like laminated full size maps of the Death House from Curse of Strahd.
You know what the worst
in
part
my
is?
car.
Is when you went somewhere with like the baby, like to the park or whatever, or walk or whatever, and you have the stroller in the trunk, but you forget about it, and then you go to like pick up your groceries, like curbside, and then they bring out all your groceries, and you get a lot of groceries, right? But you forget that there's a stroller back there, and you just pop the trunk, so they're all like, you want everything in the back? And I'm like, yeah, everything in the back. And you're like, what
And
are
you
you,
look like an
idiot? And they're all like desperately trying to fit all this shit, despite the fact that there's a stroller in the trunk. And then you get home, you're like, oh, I bet they hate me. Yeah, that happens to me
Yeah.
a lot.
that's probably true. You should stop doing that. Yeah, I don't know. I feel my only answer to this question is the only thing I have in my car for fun is my iPod, which is only mildly humorous because it's the year 2022 and I have an actual iPod.
Would you call rage music fun?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on your mood, but sure, yeah, all the time.
I only own an iPod. That's my only Apple product I
You
own.
said
and
iPod.
whatever. I only own one because my roommate found it in a HEB parking lot.
Wow.
And it's a 4th gen iPod Nano, and it has as much music as I want to put on it, and it still works. So
That's a weird question.
Hey, he's excited. He's about to buy a car. He wanted to ask a car related question. So there we go.
ask a question again next week and tell us what you bought.
Yeah, tell us what you keep in your car for fun / emergencies. All right, that's it. That's it for questions tonight, guys. Again, I will usually get this thread up days in advance. I apologize for being late, but we appreciate the questions. If you want to submit one for next week, just go to discord.gg/4player and get them in. Sorry. This will be for 2 weeks from now because next week we're going to do a co-op night. No podcast next week, but you get the idea. Anyways, all right, time to wrap up with the 4-player minute. Brad, I'm going to let you start us off because you have a hard out at 11.
Have I talked about Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 yet as a final thought? I can't remember. I took a little
I don't
note
think
down,
so,
but then
no.
I don't think we've done a regular podcast. Anyways, this is old news at this point, but kind of Tony Hawk was out there talking about how they were going to remake a Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 like they did with 1 and 2. And that he kind of explained how all that just fell apart and it's not happening anymore. Mostly because Vicarious Visions was just folded into Blizzard because, fuck everything, right? And it just got me thinking that, like, this is not how things are supposed to go. Because when it comes to, like, getting new games or the next game, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, but you feel like when a game, like the remake of 1 and 2, which were remakes of beloved games, but that remake itself, like, was very critically acclaimed. Like, people were, like, going nuts. Like, oh, shit, these games are so good. The remake's so good. They did it perfectly. Everyone was happy on the planet. Also, the game sold, like, extremely well. Like, that remake of 1 and 2 sold extremely well. It reviewed extremely well. Like, the vibes, everybody was fucking happy. Everybody was happy about that game. The business people were happy. The fans were happy. Tony Hawk was probably happy. It had been so long since Tony Hawk was,
Happy.
had anything positive. And like that's like the one thing we could rely on, right? oh, this isn't just really fucking good. Not only is everybody really happy, it made a bunch of money. It makes sense that we just get the next one, right? Like,
You would think,
that,
yeah.
you would think, right? And, he outlined this whole story about how it fell apart, you know, and how they batted around some ideas and they were looking for a new studio, but they didn't really like any of their ideas, so they just, forget about it. Whatever, fuck it. And it just got me thinking that, nothing is a sure thing anymore. Or maybe it never was.
Nothing in life is guaranteed.
Oh, God. It just bummed me out. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 was my favorite. And I was just it made sense, right? That they would eventually do 3 and 4 and then maybe Thug 1 and 2. And it's just gone. It just didn't happen. But it made no sense for why it didn't happen, just because of bad business decisions and lack of, it's just frustrating, right? This was the thing that you expect to happen when everything goes right and it's not happening, and it's like, ugh, it just sucks. So
yeah, I feel you.
It never popped up in the news and it kind of got pushed back, so I thought I'd bring it up in my final thoughts, and it's really, really unfortunate. But that first one was really good. That first remake of 1 and 2 was really good.
Wow, Brad, what a bummer. Anybody have something more positive?
Well, that's kind of how the industry goes sometimes, and it's stupid.
Yep, agreed. Chris Davis, why don't you go next?
Mine is a slash optimistic outlook thing. One of the news pieces we didn't talk about tonight. Tomorrow morning, Ubisoft is finally showing off.
Oh yeah.
Their Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag successor game, Skull and Bones, that has been in development hell for basically 8 years and is basically only being pushed out because they have a contractual obligation with the government of Singapore, I think.
What?
They got government funds and they were required to release it within a certain time frame. Otherwise, they got to pay back.
You know what? I'm gonna call it. This would be a hot dog bet if hot dogs were good and I liked them. But I think they're gonna show this game off and people are gonna be surprised. Like,
footage has leaked of the trailer they're going to show. And it's a decent presentation for what they're showing, but it's also bad quality visually, so it's kind of hard to.
When you say bad quality, like you're talking about what leaked was a bad, not like
a bad rip.
This is a single player game now, right?
No, this is a multiplayer game.
Wait, I thought there was single player stuff now.
Well, it was originally just going to be a competitive multiplayer. Like it was going to be a team-based multiplayer where it was like everybody had their own ship.
I thought the multiplayer
and it was fleet versus fleet. But what I heard something about the single player thing too. Are we gonna?
It's supposedly
are we gonna see tomorrow? Like, is this like a Sea of Thieves competitor now? Or
it is pretty much. It is a Sea of Thieves competitor. You command your own boat and you go out into the open South Pacific, where
into like an open MMO space.
Yeah, pretty much is what this is supposed to be.
What?
That sounds cool. Right?
It's not a bad idea.
Cool.
They should have made a spiritual successor to Black Flag without all the Assassin's Creed bullshit, like just the boat stuff. And, I think a lot of people maybe would have wanted that.
Yeah, but they can't monetize that for 5 to 10 years, so that's not
also,
what we're gonna get.
I think
you got to think about how much the multiplayer landscape has changed since this game was originally announced. It's like probably playing whack-a-mole as a development team. Like every time, as the longer development takes, people are like, well, do we shift the project to kind of fit the mold? And that's
they should have made it a
3 or 4 times.
Battle Royale.
Battle Royale. Wow.
God,
bit of a stretch. Love it.
It was stretch.
But here's the thing, man. The idea of a Sea of Thieves clone sounds amazing, right?
It's not a bad idea.
But the idea of a Sea of Thieves clone being made by Ubisoft, I don't know. It's kind of gets
one
in
that's
there.
being pushed out the door and has been in development hell for about 8 years.
Because Ubisoft wouldn't do that, right? They wouldn't release a buggy
They have
game or
to.
anything.
They have to. Oh my God.
This is one of those cases where they are legally obligated to. So,
Mm.
and the other piece of news with Ubisoft was that they're finally doing a reveal / not E3 event
In
in
September. Which
Of
let me
what?
tell you, it's just like their their press conference. But it's going to be in September.
Oh,
yes.
But that is most certainly going to be a showpiece for the new Avatar game. And let me tell you, I am strangely interested in this Avatar game. Like I want to see what this is because Avatar is nothing if not beautiful. So like I kind of want to just,
which is rumored to be a game for this November ahead of the movie. I'm only interested in it because it's being made by Massive.
All over it.
It's a super massive game, and
it's Massive Entertainment. Supermassive is an entirely different developer.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. I misspoke. It's a massive entertainment game. I'm just, I don't know. I like open world game. I like open world Assassin's or Ubisoft games probably more than I should. And this, I don't know. I want it to be a technical showpiece, and it looks like it's probably gonna be very vertical with lots of, because the world of Pandora, whatever, is like super. There's lots of high cliffs and lots of flying creatures and stuff. So I'm hoping that it's like an open world game with a lot of verticality and a lot of cool traversal shit. That's what I want. Also, I want to go hunting and shit in that game. I just want to see what this game is, and the fact that I have to wait till September when it's supposed to come out in November.
You just want to kill nature, don't you?
I just want to kill nature.
You just want to be a colonizer and have sex with your hair.
What?
Remember the
Nick hasn't seen Avatar in a while.
Oh, you haven't seen Avatar? Pandorans, they mate by like
connect their hair.
I forgot about this.
Which has like fucking nerve ending.
You forgot that Avatar is extremely stupid.
Also,
did he just? Oh, I thought Brad just left us again. He didn't say goodbye like he said he was going to. All right, Krispy, what's your? Okay. Oh, go ahead.
Goodbye.
I mean, I was
goodbye.
going to mention
goodbye.
Bye, Brad.
Bye.
My. Oh, I'm sorry. No, Chris Davis isn't done. Go ahead.
I wanted to mention real quick that we're also expected to see more of Mario and Rabbids. We might get a first look at the Splinter Cell game, and they also announced today that we're getting 2 new Division games. So
wonderful.
Yeah,
but free to play. Like,
well, you're excited about Mario and Rabbids, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
As someone who has not played Mario plus Rabbids, you should really rectify that.
I own it. It was $5. I bought it. I'll get to it one day.
Fucking.
You're damn right you will. All right, Krispy.
Bargain bin minions. All right, my final thought for this week, I'm going to dedicate to my PlayStation 5, which I finally got one. Finally got one, baby. Woo! I got one, and I did it. I did it clean. I did it the right way. I didn't go through some fucking scalper. I waited for Sony to sell me a PlayStation. I paid MSRP for it, and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty pumped about it.
What games did you get?
I'm enjoying my purchase. It came with the new Horizon game, right? I haven't installed or played that yet. I'm deciding what to do about that. Everything else I've played on this PlayStation so far has been multiplayer games that I played on the PS4. So I've been playing.
I have a copy of Demon's Souls if you'd like to borrow it.
Fuck you.
That would be cool. That would be sick.
Also, you should play Miles Morales.
Yeah. You're right. I should play Miles Morales.
Really good.
I keep forgetting about that one.
Maybe Returnal.
I'm not gonna play Returnal.
You should play Returnal, dude. It's so good.
Returnal. No, I'm not gonna play.
Astrobot.
I'll play Astrobot. Yeah, it's so far all I've been playing is stuff like Apex Legends and Call of Duty Warzone, which I will say a much better experience with those on the PS5 than on the PS4, because the PS4, and I had a PS4 Pro. PS4 could not handle that shit. was struggling. Was having a very
showstopper, Krispy. Play Ghost of Tsushima and just listen to how quiet it is. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, I bet that game's pretty. I bet that's a good one.
It is.
It loads
Bye,
super
y'all.
fast and it
Bye.
makes no noise.
Bye,
Bye,
Brad.
Bye,
Brad.
y'all. Bye.
And then,
Wait, you're 5 minutes early, you bitch.
well, he's saying bye now so that when he cuts out,
Oh, okay. I
like
thought he was
said.
literally about to ghost
Uh,
us.
Didn't we go over this?
Yeah, we went over it. But you also said bye like 5 minutes ago.
Thank
I
you.
know.
That's
Anyway.
what I was
I'm
pointing
gonna,
out.
I'm gonna
Anyway,
do it again too.
okay. Oh, you just being a little bitch. Okay, fine. Anyway, I did also get the I got into the Overwatch 2 beta, so I've been playing a lot of that. That's been a lot of fun. And what else? Oh, Fall Guys. Weirdly enough, for some reason, my friends wanted to get back into Fall Guys, so I played some Fall Guys.
Here's the thing, though, is that you bought the Horizon bundle, but you've mentioned a lot of games, but not Horizon.
Yeah, I haven't
Yeah,
played.
he
I
said
haven't
he's still
even.
trying to
I haven't
figure out
even
the-
installed Horizon. I don't even know if I'm gonna play it. I might, but we'll see. I didn't finish the first game.
You
I
shut your fucking mouth.
what? I didn't say anything.
No, Brad, not Chris.
Yeah.
Oh,
Brad.
oh.
He's making stinky faces when you said Horizon. Horizon is so
Stinky.
good.
I do have a lot of
really
other
good.
stuff that I'd like to play before, but I just want to say I fucking love this machine. It is amazing. It's I find it easier to use than the PlayStation. I love this controller. I've been
Hell
playing.
yeah.
I've been using this to play Monster Hunter, and it's fucking sick. Yeah, I'm so happy. Even though I almost missed rent this month because of it, I figured it out, and
Well,
I got
Crispy, I
paid
think
today. Everything's good, so I'm sitting pretty. I love it.
I think we can all say with confidence that you've made the right decision.
Hell.
And it would have been worth missing your rent. So,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, that'd be fine. They'd understand.
All right. My 4-player minute starts now. I just want to say two things. One, I don't know what compelled me to do this, but after Brad talked about Neon White at the end of the last show we did, I bought that game on a whim because I was like, this looks pretty cool, and everything Brad's saying is sounding cool to me. And I started playing it, and then it did not take long before all of a sudden I was just completely pulled into the addictive nature of it, and I 100%ed that game. And I went for ace medals on everything, and I got the gifts that you need for everything. I unlocked the true ending, all that stuff, and it just shows me why it's probably for the best that I gravitate more towards like story centric games, like cinematic more kind of games, because when I let myself get into these like skill based like experiences, like I get fucking lost in them. I could not stop myself from playing this game until I got everything. But with that said, it's excellent. That game is very good, very easy to recommend, and it's one of the biggest surprises of the year, I would say. The other thing I wanted to say was that I don't know what it is. I talked about this briefly when I was mentioning Forgive Me, Father, but like I am just so horny for like boomer shooters right now. I don't know what it is. I want to play all of them. I'm just like buying them all up and like I'm looking forward to Cultic, looking forward to Sulaco, looking forward to Proteus. Like I have my eyes. I mean, even things like Gloomwood, which aren't really like shooters, they're more like Thief clones, I suppose, but they have kind of the same, they're scratching a little bit of the same itch. Like I just want to get my hands on like all of those kinds of games. I don't know. I'm in that mood. And I'm trying to I want to play as many of them as I can.
I'm telling you, check out Fallen Aces.
I downloaded the demo for Fallen Aces. Thank you for the recommendation. I will be trying that. Brad's literally in chat telling me to try Doom. Bitch, I've played Doom. I've played Duke Nukem. I appreciate them. I definitely, you know what? Quake.
You
not
should
really my thing.
You should play Star Trek Voyager Elite Force.
Is that really a?
That is a game.
It's on the original
it's
Quake
pretty
engine,
decent.
or it's on the Quake 2 engine.
Fuck it, I'll look that up. Shit, I don't. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I just give them to me. But yeah, and I've played Dusk, guys. And we talked about this before. Like, it took me like 3 solid tries before Dusk finally clicked with me, and that might have been one of the things that kind of like really set me off on this path. But like, I played the fuck out of Dusk. I played a lot of it, and I loved it. And I just bought Blood tonight on Chris Davis's recommendation. And I'm looking for it. I don't know what it is. I'm just fucking into it right now. So, the one realization I had though is that maybe boomer shooters aren't great on Steam Deck, not because they can't run, but because they really do require a certain amount of precision that is just really hard to accomplish. Not necessarily on a controller, but on a controller that's like also tied to the fucking screen that you're looking at. You know, it's just that part kind of sucks. But yeah, I don't know. I'm into it. I'm ready. If anybody out there has any recommendations, hit me up in Discord or Twitter. I would love to hear it. Puffin Cloud recommends Iron Fury. I've had my eye on that for a while as well. So
That's
yeah, I'm
pretty good.
definitely thinking about it. So, anyways, that's it, guys. That's our show tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for listening. If you want to find all of our episodes, go to 4playernetwork.com. You can subscribe to us on all the different podcast services, whatever you choose. And of course, join us in Discord at discord.gg/4player. We're super active. We're always in there talking about games and movies and food and pets and all kinds of shit. But
Morbius.
And Morbius. There's so many Morbius memes floating everywhere.
Please no.
But yeah, it's great. It's a great community. We'd love to have you. So check us out there. If you are new, if you pop in, if you decide to make an account, stop in the introductions channel and say hi. We'd appreciate that.
And then pop into the Pet Pics channel and bug Nick about not posting any pictures of his pets.
Oh, I post pictures of my pets, bitch, just not at the
like
speed
once every 6 months.
Is that not enough?
Does Carlos still send you a picture of his lunch every day?
No, he doesn't.
I was gonna say,
every once in a while.
You should start posting the ones he's done and look at my food.
Okay. Yeah. He does it every once in a while, like out of the blue moon. He's like, I haven't done this in a while. And he DMs me a picture of his lunch. Dinner.
I felt bad that I was 3 days late in sending him this month's restaurant specials.
Oh man, Discord's great, guys. Just come hang out with us in Discord. We love it.
Just a lot of fun.
But anyways, thanks for listening. Again, next week we'll be doing probably a co-op stream, so no podcast. We'll be playing something fun together on the podcast. Nolan will be there. We'll be playing something, Raft or Grounded or Shredder's Revenge or something. So join us next week, same time, same place for that. And as far as the podcast goes, we'll see you in 2 weeks. And be good out there, be safe, have fun, play video games, be good to each other, and we'll see you next time. Good night.
Goodbye. Bye.